Hello everyone. I wanted to make a video on a Titus Wixwell team. I want to kind of try to simplify it, make it easier. Well, maybe not necessarily easier, but quicker. A lot of the guides out there are kind of long-winded, very detailed, and that may not be a bad thing. I'm not bashing on all the different guides. Maybe one that's 2 hours long is exactly what you need. Or maybe you're the type of person that just needs a quick rundown and you're going to put it together and you're going to figure it out and you don't need a 2 hour long winded guide. So, this is going to be the basics of it. The main thing you obviously need Mr. Titus. I want to sort my tags here. You need Mr. Titus. Step 1. Step 2. You need someone that can extend buffs. Well, you need a couple people that can extend buffs. And then you need someone that can grow shields. Now, the best person for this would be Mr. Wixwell. On his A2, he increases the value of all shields. There are other people that do this. I do not know all of them off the top of my head. I know one of them is Brogni. I believe it's this skill. I don't know for sure. I think it's this one because nothing else seemed like it was doing anything. It's just not. It's not worded the same as Wixwell, so that's why I'm not positive. But I did hear in a different guide that Brogni could do it. However, Wixwell is the best. So if you already had Wixwell and you used your token on Titus, perfect. You've got them both, or vice versa. Maybe you had Titus and you used your token on Wixwell. A lot of people are just finishing their fusions up. Well, they probably finished it like a month ago. I'm a little late to the video, but they probably finished up their tokens, and now you're looking at trying to get the team set up. And it's hard to find help because there's so many people now flooding in with these new teams that everybody's like annoyed with trying to help. People are getting tired of repeating themselves, stuff like that. So I'm just going to break down the basics and let you go and experiment and see if you can figure it out on your own. It's kind of how I had to do it. And also, I'm not going to lie, I used AI for mine. I know some of you might be cringing at that. I cringed a little myself, and I didn't even know if it would work. But by golly, did it work. The AI actually helped me get it to work. It may not be the best team ever, and I am missing some stuff that I'll talk about, but it works. The team works. Okay. So, once you have Titus and you have Wixwell, then you need some buff extenders. So, Wixwell, being the best grower, also has an extender. I believe it's in the same skill, right? Yes. To increase duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. So he will not only grow the shield, but he will extend the shield. Then you need some other people. If you have Hatter, he's got a good one. If you have... there's a lot of them. There are some that are better than others. So I'm using Wixwell, Hatter, and Androck. If you have Androck, he's a mythical, so you may not have him. But if you have Androck, he's got one. And he also heals, which is really good. And he does some other cool things. I like him for a Titus team because he increases res, and res is very important. We'll get to that. But he's also got increased res, strengthen, continuous heal, filling turn meters. His passive fills turn meters on crits. Like, he's a great champion. So if you have Androck, I'd highly recommend him. But if you don't, there are other people that'll work. But the main thing, you need a buff extender. So you need someone that can extend buffs. And I would get... If you have Wixwell, I'd get 2 more. But if you don't have Wixwell, then you're going to probably need 3 of them. Maybe not, though. It also depends on who your reset is going to be. You need a resetter. Someone that is going to be able to reset the cooldowns of all your buff extenders so that you can keep going, but also reset Titus so that he can POW a little bit more often. Basically, the rundown of how this works: big shield equals more damage. You build Titus with as low HP as you possibly can get. Obviously, if you've got a blessing on him, you're going to have to deal with some from the blessing. You're going to have to deal with some from your affinity bonuses in Classic Arena, maybe even your relic, maybe even the area bonus. Hopefully not, but probably depending on, where you put things. And maybe even faction guardians and stuff like that. Empowerment, if you have them empowered, whatever. But you want to try to keep it as low as you can. So don't, obviously do like HP percent chest and gloves and all that. And try to keep HP percent out of the picture altogether. These gloves, AI and the optimizer helped me make this build, and I guess these gloves, I guess the crit damage on here was worth slipping that little bit of HP in. I'm not sure. Again, I just use the optimizer, but basically, you want to keep his HP low because the difference between his shield and how much HP he has will increase his damage. So big shield is great, but you also want little health, just a little bit of health. Try not to go over like 50,000. I think I was at like 51. Yeah, try not to go over 50-ish. If you can get it even lower than that, that's good. Um, I don't know what the full calculations are, but yeah, little health, big shield, big damage. It says it up here because it's the difference between his max HP and the value of any shields. Now there are 3 different shields that you can put on Titus. There is skill shields. There are magma shields. There are 2 places to get this that I know of. This relic, and if you do not have this relic, Mr. Pelops can do it. Whoops. Pelops can do it. And Pelops is actually better than the relic because it's 30% of his HP, so you build him with a large amount of HP and his shield will be really big. But I still think the relic is better because Pelops takes a whole champion slot on your team, and that's one less person that you can use for other stuff. Now, he's not a terrible champion by any means, but he's not going to do like billions of damage on his own, and he really only brings the increased attack and the magma shield to the team. I mean, I guess the taunt might help a little. I guess taunt works on Hydra. I'm not actually sure because I've never ran taunt. Oh, I know it does work because I lied. I have ran it. Shayak has a taunt, and it does work. So, I mean, he's okay. If you don't have the relic, then you got to have him. I'm not trying to talk him down too much. It's just the relic is better. The relic is only 10%, I believe, but you're gonna grow it. So as long as it doesn't get stolen or destroyed before you can grow it, then it's not a big deal. Yeah, 10% on all allies, 2 turns at the start of the battle. So it gives you 2 turns to get it grown, and hopefully it doesn't get destroyed. Now, Hydra doesn't do a ton of damage right out the gate. It is a little harder to keep it built in Chimera. Chimera does a lot of damage. But I'm really going to mainly talk about Clan Boss and Hydra for now. The team will work in Chimera. For me, I don't know why, but mine does incredibly low damage, even though it survives the full 65 turns. It's just not great damage. I'll demonstrate a little bit at the end, because I think I haven't used my keys yet. But essentially, you want this shield, you want a skill shield, and then bonus points if you can get yourself an actual shield set. I haven't been able to do it yet. I've got absolute doo-doo butt shield pieces. I need to farm more. I think it's Fire Knight Castle where the shield set drops. But if you can get this one too, then this one also works. Bolster does not work. I don't know why. I sure read it somewhere. But it does not work. Probably because I think it can't be extended. I think that's why it doesn't work. Bolster, it's protected, and I'm pretty sure it can't be extended. So it'll just go away after 3 turns, and then that's it. So you want the regular shield set. So those 3 shields are what's going to give you your big damage. You're going to grow those with Wixwell, extend them with your extenders, get a big shield, and you're going to be able to do damage. The shield set is not a necessity. I don't have it, and I can still max damage cap regular clan boss. Show you that really quick. 2.14 bill is the max you can get in 1 key. Max every single difficulty, 1 key. Hydra, it's another can of worms. I'm going to get into it in a minute. But Hydra is another can of worms because if Titus gets eaten, which is RNG based if you're running quick battles, and if you manual, then you just got to hope that you're paying enough attention to continuously pop the heads one after one after one, keeping them popped so they don't eat him. But there are times that even if you're doing that, it's still gonna. It can still go wrong. Someone can still quickly eat him. And if that happens, basically, you're going to be losing the magma shield. You're going to be losing the shield set. And the only shield you're going to get back is the castable shield from whoever you're bringing that can do that, which it should be Wixwell. He can, like I said, cast the shield. So what that's going to do is basically tank the crap out of his damage. But if you have all three shields and you grow them very quickly, you can probably get billions upon billions of damage before he gets eaten. Now, my team, I can't quite do that. The highest I've seen them get. So the first time I set the team up, I did 1.4 billion. It was awesome. Have not been able to replicate that. Now the highest I get is like 700 mil, and I get as low as like 140 mil. It really depends. Um, but it's basically going to be a race to do as much damage as you can before he gets 8. Because I think it's kind of inevitable that he's going to get 8. But I can't demonstrate because I already did my keys. But one thing you want to do to delay him getting eaten is you want to put one champion with higher crit damage. Someone that it won't matter as much as if they get eaten. So that does not want to be Wixwell, and you don't want it to be your reset. So I made it Hatter. You can see my Hatter has an absurd amount of crit damage. It is higher than my Titus. Titus, I don't know what is my Titus. My Titus is pretty low. Is at 341. So I had to make my Hatter have even more, and that stops the very first digestion from taking Titus, because the first one targets whoever has the highest crit damage. So that's the basics. You open up the battle, put on all your shields. So Wixwell would go first. You want him to put up his shield with this. And then he's also going to put up his I put the relic on him. I don't think it really matters who's it on, but the relic is going to put up the magma shield, or I guess if you're using Pelops, then you want him to go second, put up that magma shield. And then you're also going to have your shield set automatically on because it just, at the start of the turn, it comes on. So that'll be your 3 shields. Then you want to immediately start extending. So after Wixwell goes, after Pelops goes, whatever, then you're going to start running your extenders. Go through all your extenders. You're going to get Hat, or you're going to get whoever your other extenders are. You're going to get them to all go. Donnie, or whoever your reset is, in my opinion, I would not use the reset until after everyone has gone. Then reset. But you can reset before Titus goes. Titus will go last because you want him to go last. You don't want him to be too quick. You can reset before Titus goes, but I wouldn't. I'd wait because then you can reset him as well. And why not reset him? Then you can attack again. And the more attacks you get out of him, the better. And then so with these core 5 people, again, it's going to depend on who you have. The best resetter, by the way, is Yumeko. If you have Yumeko. She's a void legendary, so you probably don't have her. If you do, congratulations. You have the best resetter in the game because she decreases by 3 whole turns, and she can be reset. So you could run 2 resetters, and you could reset her, and it just make a beautiful chain reaction. Don't have her, so I'm running Donnie. Donnie is a very good option, and Donnie was a fusion champion that most people have. If you weren't here for the turtles, don't have him. Find someone that can reset. Find someone on your account that can reset. If you have everybody else, but you don't have a resetter, you might be able to make it work. I don't know for sure. You might need at least a single target resetter to reset Wixwell. And that might work. I'm not sure. You might need your supports incredibly fast in order for them to keep, extending the shields. And don't make Titus too fast because he'll burn through the shields before you can get around to extending them again. Um, just try to find someone. I mean, there's a lot of different people that can reset. Lamasu can do a single target reset, but you're gonna need a manual then because you cannot target her A3. There might be some sort of technique you can do to get that to work. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into a little bit of gameplay now. The tune is going to be whatever you need the tune to be. I already told you kind of like the turn order. So for me, I start with Wixwell, and then I actually don't really fully remember my order of how it goes. Um, but Wixwell you want first, and then Titus you want last. The others, it doesn't really fully matter that much. You probably want Donnie after the extenders. So I guess I guess it matters a little. It'll be like Wixwell, 2 extenders, and then reset Titus, something like that. And then for the 6th one here, this is for Hydra. I just put on Feral for extra damage, for block buffs. This is who I went with. You could do another DPS champion. That way, if Titus does get eaten, you can still keep going and keep the damage going. Like maybe you throw Marius in here or whatever. And then if Titus gets eaten and his shields come down and his damage falls off big time, well, then maybe you'll have another champion in here that can kind of pick up and still keep the run going. Whatever you want to do, I chose Feral because he's a very good support champion. He gives me more buff. He gives me perfect veil. He puts up another increased res, which I don't need because I have it on Androck, but he also has the block buffs to the team, which is really you kind of want to have block buffs. And also, you need Hex too. It's Hydra, so for Hex, I have Hatter. Anyway, like I said, I can't do my Hydra right now, so I'm gonna buy a key for Demon Lord, and I'm gonna show you guys the team with the Demon Lord. Now I have a tune set up, so this could be fully auto, but I want to show it to you just so you guys can see it. So the battle starts, your Magma Shield goes up. It looks like I actually have Donnie fastest. I thought I had him slower. I thought Wixwell went first, but it doesn't matter. If your reset champion is the fastest, that's fine. Just don't use the reset till you need it, though. You can set up a tune to where he'll start. So like if I clicked auto right now, he would use this first. At least he's supposed to. But that's what I'm going to open with. And for Donnie, that's a turn meter boost plus a strengthen and some continuous heals. Okay. Then I'm going to open up with Androx buffs, increase res. Then I'm going to extend with Hatter. So now all the things are at 3 turns, or should be. Then we're going to put up Wixwell's shield. We can go ahead and take a swing, 704,000. It's not going to be that high because his shield isn't big yet. But still, that's a decent amount of damage. Then we go for the reset. Then we do it again. Now, we're back at Androck. We do not need to use this one again because those buffs are already up. And provided that nobody dies, which they won't, then you just keep extending with Androck. You do not need to use anything else. You already have increased defense up from Wixwell's A3, so you don't need to use Androck's A1, and you don't need to use his A3 again. And I know you guys may not have Androck, but for me, that's how this works. I am actually going to use one turn here to go ahead and put up a weekend. I was going to try to put up a weekend. I weak hit. That's funny. And then since we've already activated, Wixwell's shield, now we're just going to grow. That's all you're going to do, Wixwell, is grow. You're going to grow in A1, grow in A1, grow in A1. If his grow's on cooldown, just A1. Boom, 654, still a little low. We will A1 with Androck. I said earlier you didn't need to because you don't need the increased defense, but I mean, you've got to do something with him when his turn comes up, so just A1. Just get a little damage. You can put him in War Master if you want a little more damage. I put War Master on Wixwell as well for a little extra damage. Oh, one thing for Titus, do not use his A3. His A3 has an ally protect on it, and if you A3, then you are going to get Titus killed a lot quicker because he's going to take damage from whoever he put that ally attack on. But you can see how it goes. Titus, we're up to 1.1 mil every time his shield grows, which means every time Wixwell goes. There we go. We finally got the weaken up. That's what I want to see. So every time Wixwell uses this, you'll see it'll say grow shield, grow shield, grow shield. Every time he uses that, shield gets bigger. Boom, more damage. 1.4 mil. Extend. Extend. Grow. Do this. Hatter got stunned. That doesn't really matter that much. At least for my team, it's never mattered. It will throw the order out of whack, but because my team is so fast, I don't think it really matters. I've run this with quick battle every day since I set it up, and it's never not max damaged. Of course, this is only clan boss, so it's not really hard to set up anyway. But I did just want to note that there, that I didn't realize he could get stunned. But I guess it makes sense that he could, because I think, yeah, it can't be resisted. So someone's going to get stunned, but it doesn't really matter. And if you've got some sort of cleanse, you can use it. My cleanse would be Donnie, but I used it right before he got stunned anyway, so 2.3 mil, you can see the damage is going up. I'm going to switch this over to auto just to let them cycle a little bit quicker and let you guys see, because they can do it a little bit quicker than I can click. Even his A1 does some damage. You can see he got 429 there, 448. Now his A1 is not the big damage, of course. 3.5. We're all the way up to 3.5 mil already. And here's another grow coming in. But yeah, his A1 can hit. He can hit a little bit too. 3.5. You see just how big the shields are getting already. Look at Wixwell over there on the right. If I zoom in, you can see Titus still has magma up. He still has the castable one up. And again, I don't have a shield set, 7.6 mil, so it's going up a lot. I don't have the shield set. If I did, it would go even faster, but you can see just how big the shields are getting. $16.5. You can see just how quick it escalates. And mind you, this team also doesn't have a decreased defense. That would actually help a lot too, but I just didn't have a way to slip it in. But decreased defense would help a ton with the damage, and maybe even like an increased critical damage. Again, it's just going to depend on your champions, your team, and what you can provide. 20.3 mil, as you can see, it goes up very quickly. And it'll just keep going. It'll just keep climbing more and more and more and more. He'll just keep doing more and more damage as his shield grows. And like I said, if I had a shield set, it'd be even better. But the thing with the shield set is you can't brute force it. You can't just put on 4 random crappy pieces on one of these random people and call it a day. They still need to hit like a certain amount of speed and accuracy and resistance. So you do need good shield pieces, unfortunately, which is why I don't have it. Because if I were to put a shield set on, I would need to put it on somebody here. And, well, I already know that I need Wixwell and Donnie both fast. The slowest person I could probably put it on would be like Androck, but Androck I have 9-piece protection because I like those protected buffs. Yeah, I forgot to mention resistance with you guys. Resistance, you don't want the shield to get stolen, so when you're doing Hydra, you know Mischief can steal buffs, so you got to have a certain amount of resistance. That's one thing why I really love Androck. His passive, for every buff they have 10 more res, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. It's 100 more res just on Wixwell. Not to mention that Androck also puts up an increased res. He has a little increased res for 50%. I'm going to go ahead and end this now. I don't care that I didn't get a max key because the clan boss is already dead. It's not a big deal. Hydra, like I said, I can't show it just because I've already done my keys. But it's the same premise, really. It's just you got to remember to deal with the other Hydra mechanics. Hex, to keep mischief, to make mischief targetable. Block buff, to keep Poison Cloud from going crazy. You probably don't need to provoke because you can just one shot the decay, or is it decay that has the shield? I think it is the provoke, the cleanse, whatever it's called. You can just one shot that guy, and then just be wary not to use Titus on the dude with reflect damage suffering. You'll kill Titus. You don't want to do that, or you'll just damage his shield a lot. If he has enough shield to survive the reflect, then he'll just damage it really a lot. You don't want that either. So don't attack that guy. And it's really the basics of it. I can show you a little Chimera. Chimera, you're going to need to stress the high resistance even more in Chimera because Chimera's ultimate form can script. But anyway, you want to aim for like 400 plus res. I got 364 base on Androck. I have 324 on Hatter. I don't know if I have bonus in Hydra or not. Yeah, I do have bonus res. Oh no, that's accuracy I'm looking at. Yeah, I got bonus 24 in Hydra. So everyone will have a little bit extra there. But then I've got, like I said, Androck's passive. And then his increased res as well. So that's enough for me that no one gets their stuff stolen. Titus is actually only at 220. I didn't realize he was that low, but I forgot to put some on him when I built him. And he still doesn't get it stolen. At 220, he still doesn't get it stolen. So, as long as you have really good supports that are going to buff your res, then you'll be fine. So, I haven't done my Chimera, so let me show you guys Chimera. It does work. Just like I said, it's a lot weaker. I'm not going to quick battle it. I'll show you guys real quick. It's a lot weaker for Chimera. It ramps up essentially the same way. I have to make sure that I have to open with the extend instead of this to make sure that I keep everybody extended because and you got to make sure you have increased defense because this dude when he does that, what's this? Is this one or is it which one is the one that he does? Okay, it's this one. This one does a ton of damage if it removes any of your buffs, and it has a chance to remove buffs. So you got to make sure that you get your you got to get your res and stuff up. But you can see it also just doesn't really do a lot of damage. See, everybody resisted there, so we're good. Then we just start extending like we would normally. Grow them shields. 271. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because Chimera has more, like, way more defense than Hydra. I don't know if it's because I don't have the shield set. I really don't know what the whole deal is. All I know is that my Titus team does not do a lot of damage on Chimera. It doesn't even one key Ultra Nightmare. I have to two key it. Like I said, it could be because I don't have a shield set. It could be just because he's so tanky and I don't have a decreased defense. I really don't know. But you can see he's not hitting anywhere near as hard as he was with the clan boss. In Hydra, he'll basically hit hard enough to pop a head in one shot. It's pretty satisfying. Oh, I actually did not resist it that time. So that right there is the perfect example of needing more res. So for Ultra Nightmare, I need more res. It's not enough to resist this guy. And you guys saw that my Titus is only at like, what was it, like 200 base. So with the 50% from Androck, that's like 300. And then he gets an extra 10 for each buff on him. I don't know how many buffs he had on him. He's probably like mid 300s. And for Ultra Nightmare, you probably need 4 to 450. So let's just try Brutal here for a minute. Brutal probably doesn't need as much. That actually kind of shocked me because I had run Ultra Nightmare before and not gotten resisted. But, the game just wants to prove me wrong. It's okay. I'm not worried about it. Auto it. The only other form is not only does the ultimate form steal buffs, but you gotta watch out for the Venom form too. Because the Venom form opens up by stealing buffs. You do not want that to happen. $600,000, not too bad. That's without weaken or decreased defense. So for me and my account, personally, I can do more damage with just a different team on both Chimera and Nightmare Hydra at this moment. Well, like I said, Nightmare Hydra, it's a little 50-50 because sometimes I can hit big numbers. Other times, I do more damage with Shayak and Crocad. Chimera, straight up, I can just do more damage if I just run like Ninja, Thor, Marius, any of them. So I'm not exactly sure why. Probably just because I don't have the shield set. Shield set's pretty big. But it does work for me for the UNM clan boss. And it functions in Hydra. It's just mine's just not top of the line. It's not probably anywhere near as fast as it should be. Don't have the shield set. Everybody doesn't have 6-star souls. There's a lot of room to improve it. Also for this form, if you're doing Chimera for this form, make sure Titus doesn't need 2 of this form. He's gonna kill himself. Because of the reflect crap. Wherever that's at. Something to do with the duel or whatever. He's gonna reflect. Titus is gonna kill himself. You don't want that. So make sure you turn off his A2 in the AI. I'm thinking about trying to like rework this team a little bit, maybe like taking off Hatter, just removing one extender, and maybe throwing in someone that can decrease defense just to see how it goes, because I really think that the reason my damage suffers so much in Chimera is just because of how much defense Chimera has. Let me actually look it up really quick. Raid Chimera stats. Let's see. Do 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 do. Chimera. So on Ultra Nightmare, he has 8,000 defense in Void, 9,700 in the Ram. Oh, I said in the Void, I meant to say in his ultimate form, because I don't think the affinity matters. In ultimate form, he has 8,000 defense, 9725 in Ram, 5720 in Lion, and 6864 in Viper. So he's extremely tanky. And he's got 505 accuracy in Ultimate, 605 in Ram, 530 in Lion, and 555 in Viper. So he will strip your crap if you don't have a ton of resistance. You need 4 to 450, maybe even 500 if you can get it. Now on the lower difficulty, so let's say like Brutal, which is what we're doing right now. Brutal's not too bad, but yeah, he's still quite tanky. So for Brutal, the ultimate form is 4683 defense, 5686 for Ram, 3345 for Lion, and 4014 for the Viper. So let's see how much damage Titus does with his A2 to this form. 9 million, yeah. So you can see just how much the defense matters. I'm doing a lot more damage to the Lion form. So that, I guess, answers my own question I asked myself kind of earlier, is why I don't really fully know why the Chimera doesn't take as much damage from my Titus team. And that's the answer right there. Chimera is just incredibly tanky. So you'll need weaken and decreased defense to really do any good damage. So what I'm going to probably do personally is try to, I guess, take one of my extenders out. I don't really want to get rid of Androck because I love him, so I'll probably get rid of Hatter and see if we can't replace it with someone that can decrease defense. And if we can do that, then maybe we'll be able to do a lot more damage. But, I mean, that is essentially the gist of setting up one of these teams. I know this was it's 36-minute video with the gameplay tests, so it was still a little bit long. But I tried to keep the explanation part to under 20 minutes. I hope it helps somebody. Even if it doesn't help you, whoever you are, I'm talking to you. If it doesn't help you, well, maybe it'll help them. I don't know. I hope it helps someone. I know this whole Titus Chimera, or not Chimera, but Titus Wixwell thing can be a little confusing. It's quite a complex team to set up. Of course, there's going to be those veterans that are out there, and they're going to be like, actually, it's not that difficult to set up. It was so easy. I did it in my sleep. Good for them. Me personally, it was a little complex to set up. I spent a few hours doing it. I had to make sure that I had everything right. Now, like I told you guys, funny thing is, I used AI. I think Wixwell just lost his magma shield. Interesting. I thought Wixwell had decent. How much resistance does Wixwell have? Why did he get stripped? I had to buff for everybody's res in this team. Wixwell has almost 400. 381. How much does he have in Chimera? Oh, there is no. That's right. There is no bonus for Chimera. So just 381. But plus all the stuff from Androck, you're telling me that wasn't enough to be to resist it? Jeez. Whatever. You guys get the point. Thank you for watching. I hope, again, like I said, that this helped somebody. If it did, you can leave a like, leave a comment, thank me. I don't care. I just want to help people out. So if I was able to help you, excellent. If I wasn't, I'm sorry. There are other videos out there. Maybe one of those long-winded 2-hour ones is what you need. But I do appreciate you guys for watching. Remember that Jesus loves you. He died for your sins. God loves you. Jesus loves you. They are real. I promise you. They're real. Trust me. If you don't believe, now's the chance. The world, it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end, buddy. Get saved while you can. Love you.